What is up, runners? We are back with the Save the Date trailer with Marathon. Going to do a little bit of a breakdown for this. Now, I don't think there's a ton of hidden things in this. They didn't show off a whole lot because obviously they're saving most of that for the gameplay reveal coming up on Saturday. However, there were a couple of things I wanted to kind of just slow down and get the time to look at and talk about with you guys, just to kind of, tease your brains, some of the things that you might have missed while watching, anyways. And to start us off, we are even starting early, just at 0-0 right at the start of this. We see this nice overhead of what's probably one of the maps or even a section of the map. Obviously, we don't know how big the maps will be, or even if this is actually one of them or just like a representation of it. But looking at it from the top, it looks like this nice swampy area. Now, this could be a swamp map, or it could be just a section of a larger map that has a swamp in it. Looking at it, I don't see a lot of distinct landmarks out beyond these buildings. So it could definitely be just this part of the map, and it could be kind of smaller. Depends on your run speed, really, right? But it could be a smaller area just in the middle of this swamp, or it could be much larger that they just didn't show off. But just with the artistic rendition of this, it looks like this might just be the whole map for this section. Now, as well as that, we obviously are not looking at actual gameplay. This is like some kind of render just for the promotion material for the gameplay reveal. So this could definitely not be one to one. But if you're looking at this area, we have these little sections of debris kind of scattered around, which would be like cover in between these zones that could act as hotspots, right? So you can see this bridge, which is a nice little choke point here to get from this landmass to this landmass, as well as all these shipping containers are like my main thing that stood out to me. This section looks really open, like a bit of a death trap, and this building that's really long with the multicolor looks really cool. Really interested to see what things could be like in this building. Now, I'm gonna let it play just a little bit here. As you'll hear, there's gunshots going off in the background and stuff like that. So gunfire pretty far away gives you the impression this is going to be a large map. Here, this is just a nice little scenic shot. We've got dragonflies in a lot of this, a lot of flowers that look really nice. The art style for like the environment looks pretty similar to what we got in the announcement trailer. I would say it's probably a bit more refined than it was in the announcement trailer. It just looks a bit more well-rounded, more depth, a little less stark white, but this still looks vibrant enough that you could probably see somebody hiding in a bush. Obviously, if this isn't what the graphics look like in game, this is, a totally moot point. But on premise, I assume the game's gonna look something like this trailer. So just something I wanted to point out. I love the neon green on this container on the right here, and the orange sticks out really nicely as well. Now this shot, I'll let it move again. Right here, one, this camera locks onto this dragonfly, which I think is funny, like it's some kind of face recognition for dragonflies. But this up here looks like what I would believe to be either a moon of Tau Ceti, or what's also possible is that is the Marathon, but I don't believe so. There's this little ship here that's much smaller, and that could be the Marathon. I'm not entirely sure what it looks like from the outside. I've seen some rough, interpretations of artwork in the past, but this whole moon thing does not look to be as broken up and damaged as Deimos looks, which is the moon that they built the Marathon into. And this ship feels kind of small to be the Marathon, but I could be wrong, and maybe, we're just so far away that at this scale it looks that way, but, up to interpretation. But this moon looks like it has like a shield around it or something. Maybe it's just the dust of this ring kind of bending around it. I'm not sure if that's exactly what it would look like in space if the moon was in the rings. I imagine it would look a bit more like Saturn, where it's carved out the space in the dust ring. But this is a really sick view, looking at this larger planet in the distance with this moon in between. Really good contrast with the kind of clear skies out here. Obviously, in the background, we have these little buildings as well as some ramps around here that I could totally see this being an in-game location. But yeah, the orb is the crazy part. And then also, this whole section kind of feels a little bit like the Marathon logo right here. Because I saw this and I was like, maybe that's the Marathon logo. But I think that is just a a byproduct of space being here and the planet's edge being right there. It kind of just ends up looking like a cut there, but I believe this is just regular space. We're going to let it play a little bit here. We got a couple scenic shots here. I did not mean to pause on this frame of her getting shot, but this whole section will kind of go through different environments. And here we get to see a little bit of the really nice looking water. And then that rolling off of the footprint into the mush is really cool. Let me show that part again right there. Like, highly doubt that's going to be anything relevant in game, but looked really cool. Wanted to point it out. And here, Blue Blood. Obviously, we saw Blue Blood in the announcement trailer when the runner of that trailer got shot by White Rabbit, or whatever team she was on. They also bled blue, so it looks like all, if not most, of these runners are going to bleed blue. Now, if you don't know, the runners are usually, as far as we can tell, clones that people are transferring their consciousness into. These are not actual human bodies. So in the event of you playing the game, you are probably not actually down here. You're up somewhere else in the space station taking down remote controlled robots. And these robots just happen to have blue blood or blue oil or something. So that's what we're seeing here, just for clarification. And then I did pause it right here. I'll go a little bit more. I really like the art style, how it looks from here. The really stark character model against this background, which the background already looked like it popped out and it looks really nice, but against the character with these sharp blues and this much more vibrant pink and the much smoother texture, like the texture on these clothes on the runner and their legs and the arm there, which are very blue, very, very, very contrast the background here compared to like what a normal person might look like. Now, since they're probably synthetic, that probably gives to why this looks so plasticky, but I kind of enjoy the vibe. It looks very cool. I did want to get into this whole frame with the glitching out on the death, possibly like a down but not out state. In one of the Vidocs, they did say there's going to be reviving. So this one might be what you see when you get downed, might not be. But right here, we get this little message of access node input, which is probably due to, you being far away and you're kind of jacked in over the network to these guys. This might be just a hint to the glitch that can happen if you like lose connection or something. Immediately after this, there's a little more glitch and it just kind of looks all stringy. Obviously, you can see the gun here. I'm going to let go a little bit more. So right here, we have the runner's gun right here on her hand. This looks like some of the artwork that we had from the ARG. And I'm just going to pull it up really quick. I really see this thing right here in the bottom left. I believe this is like the SMG that they had listed there. I'll probably pull up the clip I have of it. I was looking at them earlier, and it looked like an MP5, and they just got rid of the front end of it. That's what this kind of looks like to me. Now, obviously, it could be something else, but that's what I saw in it. I expect we'll see some of the weapons on Saturday, and I hope we can see what some of these are and get some names for them, as well as maybe see them in action. If we get a gameplay reveal, it'll be really cool to see maybe a match between some of the game testers, but, that's up in the air. Really quick, runners, this is post-editing Sato. While watching this to get ready to upload it, I realized that right now, when I hit play here, the runner is going to reach out and grab their gun and pull it closer. I didn't even notice this, doing the breakdown part of this, so just wanted to point it out for any of you that missed it. This runner is not totally dead, which leads more into this person might be resible feeling, but I don't know. Just wanted to point it out. They grab their gun right here, and you'll see it happen as soon as we go now. Let's go ahead and continue going on. And right there, we can see the pink cat, which really stood out to me watching it the first time. I'm going to pause when it gets a little bit closer, because as this is going, there's some sounds in the background, some gunshots, and the blue blood going, which looks nice, but there's not a ton to reveal here or talk about, apart from the sound design. Orbital lasers. Who had orbital lasers on their bingo card? I did not. Now, this does not look like or sound like a destructive laser. I'm going to run it back in just a second so you guys can hear the sound and kind of see the impact of it. It kind of looks like maybe somebody spawning in, or maybe spawning a boss in this area, because if this was like a destructive laser, like a laser strike, I would imagine some rumbling, some explosions, something like that, but there is none of that in this. So it could just be some kind of world event happening, or players spawning, or AI spawning, maybe an AI boss, something like that. It sounds more teleporty than it does like weapon of mass destruction. Let me back it up really quick so you can listen to it the whole time it goes through, but listen for that. So that sound right there at the end, that was kind of what I was talking about that sounded like more like a teleport than a death laser. Like it goes loud and goes boom, no explosions, and then it goes when it goes back up. Gives me teleporter vibes. Don't ask me why. But the cat here, I'll talk about the cat really quick. So this cat looks like the Sakaguchi cat that we got in some of the screenshots of the ARG. I'll see if I can pull up one of those and add it on top here, just so you can see what it looks like in the art. My only interpretation of this is pink cat likes dead bodies because warm. It's got to be some kind of robot cat, or maybe even if you play Tarkov, there's this insurance mechanic where AI PMCs, quote unquote, or sorry, AI scavs will come out and loot your body and take the loot back if you die in raid and no one takes your stuff. That's like the in-universe reason for you getting your stuff back with insurance. This might be some kind of insurance thing where if you die, you can pay to have these cats come find your body and they'll hang out with a little GPS node and take your stuff. Or maybe it's just there for style. I don't know. Really like the cat. I would like to have this cat be in game. I just wanted to give it something as maybe this could be in game because it's really cute. Listen to that purr. But yeah, just like we said before, Marathon gameplay reveal April 12th. I hope to see you all guys all there. We're going to probably do a live stream, and then we're going to break it down later after that. But I don't think there was anything left in here that I really wanted to touch on. There's some text at the bottom, nothing for you to worry about. Now, the game is not yet rated in this, which means we're probably a little bit away from release still. If I had to guess, it's usually a couple of months they get rated ahead of release. So I would say it's probably still like 6 months before a full release. I don't know if it needs a rating to release an alpha or a beta, but just something I figured should get pointed out. Yeah, and there we go. That is the new Marathon logo. Like I said, not a ton to dig into here. A couple of points I wanted to touch on, some things that I was excited about. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking deeper into this and you're just excited about the game. Like I said, even if you don't come and watch me on the reveal stream, which I will probably be doing, I will definitely put out some reaction for that, as well as an analysis of that and probably some predictions. We have a lot of things to talk about in the coming weeks. I am so excited to talk about all this with you guys. I had no idea this was coming personally, so this is a really big surprise, and I am so beyond excited for this game and to get to talk about it more with all of you. So I hope to see you all again very soon. Go ahead and subscribe down below. Leave us some comments about the things that are exciting for you. If you were doing the ARG, I would love to talk to you guys about that as well. That was a lot of fun. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys again very, very soon.